The therapist's office smells like lemon wipes and artificial calm. She says it there, softly, like she's ordering coffee. It was nothing. Just a physical release. Nothing. The word floats between us and lands in my chest like a nail. I don't look at her. I watch the therapist instead. The way her pen pauses mid-scratch. The way her eyes flick up, then down again, pretending neutrality. Professionals are trained to look bored by explosions. My wife exhales, relieved, like confession is a detergent. And she's finally clean. 4 times, she adds. Over the years, 4. She says it like a manageable number, like calories. I nod slowly. I even smile. A thin, polite line. I've learned the art of surviving rooms, of not letting walls see me bleed. 10 years of marriage sits quietly beside me. I can feel it breathing. Every anniversary dinner, every shared joke, every night I turned toward her in the dark and trusted the warmth was real. She touches my knee, a performance of remorse. I'm here because I want honesty, she says. But her voice is wrong. There's no fracture in it, no collapse, just inconvenience. Like she got caught speeding and now has to sit through a lecture. The therapist asks how I feel. I consider lying. Then I realize I don't feel anything yet. Just a strange clarity, a camera pulling back from the scene. I'm watching a man who looks like me sit beside a woman he doesn't know. I say, I'm listening. And it's true, because something inside me has gone very still. And still things are dangerous. In the car, she talks too much. That's how I know the damage is worse than the number 4. People feel silence when truth is leaking. It didn't mean anything, she repeats. It wasn't emotional. That's the important part. Important. I grip the steering wheel and imagine all the ways language can be used as a weapon. She's categorizing betrayal, ranking sins, trying to negotiate with gravity. Just physical. As if my body wasn't part of this marriage, too. As if 10 years of touch were a rental agreement she sublet without paperwork. I nod at the red light. Calm. Supportive. The version of me she expects. She relaxes a little, mistaking my quiet for processing instead of calculation. Details slip out. I'm building a life where her comfort depends on my continued goodwill, where every warm meal echoes with memory, where every paycheck reminds her who survived. Tears finally spill. Silent, she signs anyway. Of course she does. Need is louder than pride. It always was. Security escorts her to HR, not as a threat, as procedure. She walks between them like a ghost being introduced to its haunting. I watch through the glass. 5 years ago, I thought revenge would taste like fire, explosive, cathartic. I was wrong. It tastes like room temperature water. Clean, necessary, forgettable. The girl I loved died on a roadside next to a motorcycle in a sentence thrown like acid. What sits in my building now is a consequence wearing her face. I don't hate her. Hate requires intimacy. All I feel is distance measured in currency and time. My phone buzzes with market updates, numbers climbing, systems obeying, a world that makes sense because I forced it to. I turn back to my desk. Her file minimizes into a small, harmless icon. So does the past. I press delete and feel nothing at all. I request phone records from our carrier, joint account privileges. The data is clinical, columns of time and duration, proof stripped of romance. I build a timeline. It stretches across years like a second marriage layered over hours. Overlapping anniversaries, holidays, nights. I thought she was sick at her mother's house. I go to work. I laugh at meetings. I ask her about her day. I watch her perform normal. Every smile becomes evidence. Every touch becomes theft. Inside, a storm assembles itself with architectural precision. Not chaotic, engineered. I schedule another therapy session. She thinks it's progress. It is, just not hers. The folder is thick, printed, labeled, ordered. I place it on the therapist's table like a polite offering. My wife looks confused, curious, mildly annoyed at the interruption to her narrative. I slide the first photo out. Her face empties. The therapist stops pretending to write. I don't raise my voice. I narrate. This is year 2, I say. Not 3. You forgot him. Another page. This is the trainer you blocked. Last month. Another. Here's your sunlight. She makes a sound I've never heard. Small. Animal. The noise of a lie collapsing under its own weight. I was going to tell you, she whispers. The therapist finally looks at me. Really looks. I hold her gaze. Let her see the work. the care, the absence of hysteria. I know, I say. Eventually, my wife is crying now, real tears. They come too late to be currency. I'm sorry, she says. And there it is. The truth I've been waiting for. Not sorry for the years. Not sorry for the men. Sorry for being caught without controlling the script. The room is silent except for her breaking. I feel confirmed. I slide one final document across the table. Divorce papers. Pre-signed. Filed this morning. Her head snaps up. Panic sharp and bright. You said you wanted to work on us. I did, I say. I worked. Every asset is listed. Every account separated. I've been preparing since the night she called it nothing. Lawyers appreciate organized heartbreak. The therapist starts to speak. I raise a hand gently. This isn't a discussion, I say. This is disclosure. I stand. The chair barely makes a sound. I wanted you to see it, I tell my wife. All of it. The scale. She reaches for me, Mrs. You're throwing away 10 years. I look at her. At the woman who outsourced pieces of our life and labeled them harmless. No, I say quietly. You did. I'm just cleaning up. The devastation on her face is almost artistic. A portrait of consequence finally understood. I leave her with the folder. A museum of her choices, curated by the man she underestimated. The apartment is half empty when I return. Echoes suit me. I sit on the floor with a glass of water and listen to the quiet. No music, no television. Just the hum of a city that doesn't care about personal tragedies. 10 years condense into objects in boxes. It feels smaller than it should. I search for grief. For the cinematic collapse people promise. It doesn't come. There's only a clean line where love used to be. Surgical. Precise, she texts. Paragraphs. Apologies evolving into accusations, then back into apologies. A cycle I recognize now as maintenance. She's trying to keep a version of me alive that still negotiates. I mute the thread. Not out of anger. Out of completion. I walk to the window. The night air is cold and honest. It touches my face without agenda. For the first time since the therapist's office, I breathe fully. She called it nothing. She was right about one thing. In the end, it is nothing. And I step away from the window knowing the most dangerous part of me survived her. The part that can walk away without looking back.